Good evening to so many familiar faces, to my mentors. It's so nice to be back to college. Let me just take a moment before I start yapping because it's rather overwhelming, but also so inspiring and so nice to just be back to this auditorium where I used to sing, where I used to get scolded, where I used to do so many things. But I won't digress too much. I'm going to come to the point beyond the final frontiers. I am 26 years old. When I joined this college, we were told, actually much before we were told कि 12th में अच्छा स्कोर ले आओ, अच्छा कॉलेज मिल जाएगा, you will be set. Okay, I did that. I got a great score. I came to CBS. This was my dream college. I'm sure this was yours too. And बस Bain की placement ले आओ, you'll be set. I'm sure a lot of you must have heard that in your first year, even in your third year. Okay, I did that also. I worked with Bain Capability Network, private equity. It was the perfect life. People were like, wow. Some people told me cat. I was like, no, thank you. But otherwise, वहाँ पे एक अलग रेस चल रही है. I entered Bain. What a beautiful world. You're doing everything nice and dreamy. अब बस मैनेजर बन जाओ, you'll be set. मैनेजर के बाद शादी हो जाएगी, you get a nice house, you'll be set. You get an 8-digit salary, you'll be set. It never ends actually, And we always think that it ends somewhere, but it never does. I was 24 when I became a CEO to a company called Merchant Records. It's run by Salim Suleiman. I don't know if you've heard of them, but I grew up listening to their songs, and I was like, wow, this is it. Because everybody was telling me that, oh wow, you're doing exactly what everybody wants to do. You're living your dream life. You're doing exactly what you were always thinking to do. And I was like, yeah, maybe I am. But something was still not there because I am working 7 days a week. I'm not complaining. I'm working 18 hours a day. I'm not complaining. But there is so much that you lose on the way. Maybe I'm drawing a nice salary. Maybe I'm working with Arijit Singh. I'm working with Shreya Ghoshal ma'am. I'm working with Sonu Nigam sir. I'm working with the legends. I'm doing everything that I dreamt of. But maybe am I having all my friends who I made in school? Do I get to see my parents every second day? No. Does it matter to me? Yes. So, point is that after every final frontier, there's another one. And there's another one. It never really ends. All it does is push you to reinvent yourself and reinvent the society that you built around yourself. I went to my school today. I studied at St. Xavier's School, Rohini, which is a 6 minutes drive from this college. I could have gone there one of the days when I was here in all these 3 years, but I didn't. I did today because there was a purpose. I did today because after achieving everything that I wanted to achieve, I want to go back and I want to press reset and I want to see how it feels to be back there, how it feels to be at the place where you grew from. And there was so much humility inside me. There was so much that I wanted to just absorb, and that's exactly what's happening right now. I came, I met my mentors, and I was so emotional because on the way of, when you're walking that way of numbers, okay, what's your salary? How much was your GPA? Okay, how many vacations to Dubai did you do last year? You tend to lose the human side of things. You tend to lose, okay, how many nights did you party with your friends? I don't remember when was the last time I went out on a vacation with my parents, because I didn't. And that's something that starts when probably one of your final frontiers is done. It's a myth that there is a finishing line. I think there's only one finishing line which all of us need to reach at some point, but who knows, maybe there's something beyond that also. I don't know about afterlife. But that's not the point. The point is that when we think, success is standing right in front of us, it's not, it's a mirage. Because I've been running this label called Merchant Records for the last 2.5 years. As a CEO, people were so happy, my mentors were so happy, my parents were happy, my friends were happy, and I was happy too. I still am very grateful. But I realized that, okay, I've worked with all the legends. We have released hit music. We have released great music and I've made my own songs. Great, people love those. I love that too. But sometimes, I heard it in Zakir Khan का एक वीडियो था कि आप जब एक लड़ाई एक आर्ग्यूमेंट हार जाते हो ना, then you revisit that argument over and over again to win it in your head. कि मैं ये बोल देता तो सब सही हो जाता है, या मैं वो बोल देता तो शायद मैं जीत जाता. I think that's very similar to also how you win. Because maybe I did not like a song that we were releasing in our label, but that song became a hit. Okay, great. But I did not like it. You want to win things again your way. I released a song. It so happens that my favorite song is actually just got 2,000 streams, but the song that I did not like as much is now a 500,000 stream song on Spotify. Now you want to reinvent. Now you want to make a song which you like and it's a hit. So after every final frontier, there's a new frontier which you want to build yourself. That's one aspect to it. But it doesn't end there. I built this company on my own. I was the only employee for 3 years, and I realized when you start building a team, I'm sure all the third years here would resonate with that. When you start building a team, you realize that, okay, I've built this system, it's great, but I want to build this system and let go of it. I built this society and I want to let go of this to the next president. I built this company, okay, now I want to detach, I want to start something else. I want this company to grow without me. Because that really is the power, is the freedom that you want to achieve, that I want to achieve at least. That's what my final frontier is, because I started a music label with Salim Suleiman. I am now building a tech app. We are now building a brand which sells shoes and clothes and bags. I'm not kidding you, I'm not making this up. Why? Because fortunately the people I work with allow me to reinvent, and that's exactly what everybody, all of us, at least in CBS and outside, should be doing. Because आपने वो ad देखा होगा विराट कोहली रोहित शर्मा की, आप तो वर्ल्ड कप जीत के आए हो, how does it feel? They're like, it's just another match. People think that it's all made up stories, but it is really like that, because if you let the success get to your head, you'll always be stuck in that loop, because you won't allow yourself to fail. And I fail every day. I was just talking to one of my teachers that, we always thought that maybe finance is the toughest, maybe organizational behavior is the toughest, but what's most tough is to work with people. Because you always realize that I am a private equity consultant, I know everything. I am a Bain consultant, I know everything. But do you know how to pick up an employee who's crying because of burnout? And do you know how to motivate them to work? Because that work actually helps your business. But can you make them do that work without being somebody who they don't like to work with? It's very important, because, we have always seen that happening on meme pages on Instagram, that my boss is not the best, my boss is so X, Y, Z. But what people don't know, what people are not taught anywhere, is to become a good human, a good boss. And that's what my struggle is today. Maybe that's what my new frontier is. Because once I've raised funds, I've raised a lot of money. Okay, so what? Have I become a great boss? No, I have not. I am telling this to myself every day. Because if I am in Delhi and my team is in Bombay, can everything happen without me? Not at this point. But I want to reach that level. I want to build another system. That's what my new frontier is. I'm sure that will be different for all of you. But all we need to do is ask ourselves, instead of being so intoxicated by our success, I'm sure a lot of you here will be like, okay, I did this, I'm done for the day. No, this is one place, CBS is one place where there's no full stop. I used to be here at 4 o'clock till my lectures, but go home at 11 or 9 or 10. Why? Because it's a whole open world. Sky is the limit, and sky is the limit when you're outside. Like I said, record label done. I want to make my own merchandise line. I did that in college also, but now I want to do it properly, because I want to become a clothing line owner. I'm doing it. Who told me there are rules that if you're a musician, you can't start a clothing line? Who told me that I can't make a social media app? That's exactly what I would love for all of you to do it too. Because once we reinvent, once we stop those norms, break those norms and tell ourselves that, okay, hey, listen, it's fine. Maybe I would have been stuck saying that, yaar, मैं तो private equity में आ गया, अब मैं music में कैसे जाऊँ? It's unstable. It's not going to work for me. What if it doesn't work for me? And I never take that jump. I would have lost so many opportunities. I would have lost the opportunity of watching Coldplay with Shreya Ghoshal. It's my high. It's my achievement because as a musician, when I was a kid, I always wanted to dream. I always dreamt of all of this. But there's so much that goes behind it. I work 7 days a week, 18 hours a day. A lot of people can't do it. But I'm doing it because I love what I do. I'm not complaining about it. And that's exactly what you should be doing. Do you like the company that you're placed at? If you do, well, God bless you. But if you don't, is that the end of the world? No. You can start a company of your own. This is the best college to do that for you. You can start a startup. You can work with a startup. You can be a musician. I just met the performer who sang here just before. She was so good. And if she is on the same stage and I am on the same stage and you will be on this stage, then what's the difference? Today in the world of Instagram, of LinkedIn, of so many other platforms, we just tend to see numbers, how many views, how many likes, how many counts, how many shares, how many this, that and the other. How does it matter? I met Salim Suleiman on an Instagram live video. I had a total of 1,400 followers. Where is the number count? Nowhere. I just took a leap of faith. I took a leap of faith that I want to reinvent. I'm sure a lot of you here must be dancers, singers, painters. Somebody must be in their finance third year but wants to make an app. Somebody must be in BTech but wants to do business. Somebody is doing marketing but also wants to know how a P&L is run. And why should you not? In the end, it all comes together. Today, I am a musician. I am taking care of balance sheets. I am taking care of strategy. I am taking care of finance. I am taking care of human resource. I am a legal whatever in my company because we can't afford a legal team. And I'm pretty okay with it because I got to learn. What are you all doing? You are learning too. And that's what a frontier looks like to me because if I stopped myself that, okay, this is my final frontier, everybody's happy right now. I am at the perfect place where there's music business, there's a good amount of salary that I'm drawing, my songs are being liked by everyone, done. No. Will I be happy every day? No, I won't be. I will burn out one day because there is just a repetitive mode that's going on. I will become a machine which I don't want to become. I am a human, which is why I'm different from a machine. There is AI now which is doing so much of my work anyway. So how can I change things? I'm changing things by reinventing. As soon as I'm touching the finishing line, I take a step back and I hand it over to somebody else. And that's, trust me, you will realize it in your life. Once you delegate something to a team member, there's no better feeling to see that, okay, one system I made, this is running fine. Next system, next system, next system. And when that happens, you truly free yourself from being stuck in a loop. When I was in this college, I started with one society. I was in 2 societies. I don't want to say that be in 10 societies, but bring the core values of those 10 societies in one and make that world for yourself because nobody else is going to make that world for you. I wanted to be at the intersection of music and music business. So I created a job for myself. There was no job at Merchant Records when I joined, but I told them, can I do this? I started as a social media manager, not as the CEO. But later they got to know, okay, this guy knows finance, this guy knows strategy. Okay, can you do this? Yeah, I can do this. I worked like a dog and I'm so proud that I did because if not now, then when? People say, oh wow, you are killing it. 24 CEO, wow, luxurious. No. I have breakdowns sometimes. I just made an album and I was crying while making the song. It's not also luxurious. It's a real story. I just released an album. But sometimes you got to do it anyway. So do it anyway. People ask me, What's the best advice you will give a startup owner or somebody who wants to go into entrepreneurship? I just tell them start. Because if there are 100 people in this room, I'm sure 95 of them have startup ideas, but they don't start. And then they don't fail. And because they don't fail, they don't succeed. I failed too many times. I still do. I fail every day because if I don't fail, I don't know what not to do. We all run after internships and we find, okay, do I want to work here? Do I want to work there? Do I want to work at this firm? But we don't see, okay, I want to do this internship so that I know whether or not I want to do this. Do I want to do this or tick off? No, not for me. I did that. And that's what's most important. We don't experiment. We just do the, okay, my senior said Bain, great. My senior said this company, great. I'm just going to do that. No. I studied for CAT all my third year and I did not take that test 2 days before I was supposed to. Why? Because I did not want to get into a loop. My teachers know that. Why did I not do that? Because I would have gone in. I would have taken a loan. I would have gotten an admission. And then I would have been stuck. And I wouldn't have gotten to work with Salim Suleiman. But the only thing is I believed that I'm going to take this risk. And that's, again, aren't we all risk takers anyway? Most importantly, aren't we all entrepreneurs anyway? If we came to this college, this business school, we are anyway very different from the normal crowd. And that's exactly what you have already won one of the frontiers. You have already crossed the final frontier. Now it's time for you to re-innovate. And that's exactly what I'm here for. That's exactly what I'm here to tell you, that once you start building, it's an addiction. Once you start winning, it's an addiction, but the addiction comes with a downside. Embrace that downside. The addiction comes with the fact that you'll have to deviate from the normalcy. I wanted to always become a TED speaker. I didn't know I will be at my own college and talk about all of this. But it's so nice that sometimes, you know, when you dream about being a TED speaker, you would rehearse that script 10 times a day. You'll be like, this is what I want to speak. I didn't know that I'll be speaking about this because I just started preparing 5 minutes ago. But this is my story. And I'm sure all of you will have a similar story if you start deviating. If you don't deviate, you will never know the beauty of deviation. And that's what's more important. Thank you so much. This was my time at TEDxSSCBS.